appreciate the introduction, and it's really great to be in a room with Sierra Club activists. This is amazing. And I just want to thank the organization first for all the work that you do, because I think that the work that you're doing here at the Capitol, but also on local issues in your communities, is just so important. The work that you all are doing on the ground is what drives the conversations in your communities and ultimately what we're going to be able to do here at the Capitol. So thank you first for being here and supporting the Sierra Club, but also for the work that I know many of you are doing in your home communities. I really do think that we are in a moment of opportunity around environmental issues and around environmental justice. I think that around the country we're seeing more and more people who understand what the word environmental justice means, which is great. And more awareness about what climate change is, the fact that yes, it's real, that yes, it's causing, and that we have to do something about it, and that it's an urgent problem. We see polling that says that people around our country understand this, and that the environment is becoming their top issue if it wasn't already. Because we all know that if we don't have clean air to breathe, clean water to drink, and clean land that is clean, that it really damages our community. So I think that we are in a really great moment of opportunity. So I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in my district and then some of the work that as Sierra Club supported legislators that we're working on together with your help. So some of you know that the district that I represent includes a large portion of Southwest Detroit as well as downriver. And I entered the legislature in 2015 with zero science background, not really a ton of information, not a ton of expertise around environmental issues, but it was so clear from talking to residents in my district who have been working on these issues for decades that cleaning up our air in Southwest Detroit and downriver is absolutely a top priority and something that I had to work on. Because when you hear stories of asthma, of COPD, of cancer, and all of these things that people are suffering with, it really does drive you to want to help and partner with residents who are coming up with solutions on their own and to try to bring those issues to the state capitol. So over the past 4 years, we've been fighting this uphill battle around air quality and environmental justice, because the reality is that communities that are low income, that are people of color, tend to be the ones that are most disproportionately impacted by this pollution. And so we've got a lot of work to do there. I'm so excited that, under Governor Whitmer's executive order, that we will have an Office of the Environmental Justice Public Advocate, which is amazing. Along with a drinking water public advocate, a clean energy office, and so much more. So I'm so excited about that. At the same time, we also have to really make sure that we're passing good legislation to make sure that we are doing everything that we can to prevent future environmental injustices. I've introduced a whole bunch of air quality related bills. Some of them were introduced by my predecessor in the House, where she did to leave, and some of them are new that came up, from talking with residents in my district. Whether it's pet coke, because it's still an issue, and still there are plans to potentially still store pet coke. Marathon is trying to get what's called a variance from our ordinance that we have in the city of Detroit, which is just astonishing and completely ridiculous. But we also have issues of, we still don't have a good way here in Michigan to measure what's called cumulative impact. So, in Southwest Detroit, you've got Marathon oil, which is, I think, the most visible polluter in Southwest Detroit. But you've also got multiple steel plants. You've got a wastewater treatment plant. You've got international truck traffic going to and from the Ambassador Bridge, and we've got another bridge coming. And so much more. It's a really long list. And when we're looking at things permit by permit, I've been to, I can't even count how many MDQ hearings I've been to over the past 4 years. It's been a lot. And we're looking at things permit by permit, violation by violation, and we're looking at individual pollutants, and we're not looking at how are they all mixed together. We know that people are suffering the health impact, but we're not doing a good job of actually measuring that. And so myself, and I know that Representative Kamoon also has worked really hard on this issue as well. We need to do a better job of understanding what that cumulative impact is for our residents. One bill that I'm particularly going to push really hard on this term, is around making sure that the fines that polluters are paying should come back to the communities that are being polluted. So, it's a pretty common sense idea, honestly, I think. And we've got plenty of other precedents within the Department of Environmental Quality for funds like this, but we don't have one for air quality. So the idea of this legislation is the fines that polluters are paying for violating the air quality standards should go back into an air quality fund, and they should come back to the communities most impacted as environmental justice communities in the form of vegetative buffers, in the form of health impact assessments, air monitoring, and so much more. So they're all common sense things, right? If you're going to pollute and you're going to violate your permit and the air quality standards, let's make sure that the money is coming back to the communities. The other big topic I wanted to talk about is water. Obviously, we know that we're the Great Lakes state and that we are surrounded by fresh water, yet many of our residents cannot know for sure if they have safe, clean, affordable drinking water that's accessible to them. And that is absolutely inhumane in many cases, and something that we should make a top priority. Whether it's PFAS in areas around our states, in districts that are Republican and Democrat and everywhere, and even in Detroit, in my own district, we know of a couple of places where we've just found out that we have some PFAS contamination as well. From PFAS to lead in the water to the ongoing crisis in Flint, where we really need to continue to make sure that we're providing for the residents there, and it's still a crisis. I think that sometimes people forget that, but it really still is. To the mass water shutoffs in Detroit that are still happening, we've got a huge crisis on our hands. And so I think what we need is to have the continued support and movement from legislators like those who are in the room, who are pushing and supportive and advocating for this legislation related to water as a human right, to water affordability, to water shutoff protections, to fixing our water billing systems, to looking at maybe we need to do some economic regulation of water, to all of these issues. We've got good ideas out there. We've got really amazing legislators who are working every day on these issues and who know these issues so well because they hear it from their residents all the time. So now what we need to do is, with your help, really make sure that every single lawmaker understands how important this issue of water is. As mentioned, we're the Great Lakes state, we're surrounded by fresh water. It should be 100% guaranteed that everyone should have this access to clean water.
Yes!
So it's really going to take a lot of organizing, right? It's going to take a lot of coalition building. It's going to take folks like you talking with your lawmakers like you did today about really important issues that affect all of us. And so I just want to say thank you to the Sierra Club for the amazing work that you're doing. I want to encourage you to continue the uphill battles that we continue to fight. And I know that sometimes they can feel discouraging, right? Because we've all been to so many of these town halls and hearings and meeting after meeting where it seems like progress sometimes isn't being made. But every now and then we get a small win or a big win, which is I think will hopefully propel us to keep moving forward, to keep fighting. So I just basically wanted to come by, show my support, and just to really encourage you to keep up the fight. I think that we are in this moment of opportunity where people really understand, and we're seeing more and more Michiganders and Americans understanding that we need to do everything that we can to protect our environment and finally understand what environmental justice really is and how much more we have to do. So thank you so much for being here and the work that you do, and let's keep up the fight.